Ако ти преча ми казва.
Има камера, много интересува.
Okay, very well. Congratulations for coming. Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much. You're
Dear distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, I am extremely honored to welcome you here in the great hall of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences on the occasion of our 150th anniversary. Our academy was created 150 years ago, 9 years before Bulgaria took its independence, as a little society in the town of Brăila in Romania. It was the moment when it was the Bulgarian revival, which was to precede the new Bulgarian state, and the role of people that created this society. Among them I will mention the names of Marie Drinov, Vasil Stoyanov, and Vasil Trunev, the first three that you see here in the portraits. They created this with the idea to work for the education of all Bulgarian people and with the idea to show them further way of prosperity. This was an extremely important event in this period of the revival of the Bulgarian national identity, and was a significant also contribution to the creation of the Bulgarian nation. After Bulgaria took its independence, the members of this society were among the main and important builders of the new Bulgarian state. Marie Drinov was the first Minister of Education. Many others were among those putting the basis of the Bulgarian state, and particularly of the cultural and the scientific institutions. Let me mention that the majority of the people that created the so-called high school at that time, that became later the Sofia University, which is on the other side of the parliament, were members of our society. During this period, which ended with the Second World War, the members of society, with their activities, were those that put the Bulgarian science on the world map, and Bulgarian cultural development happened with their significant contribution. After the Second World War, our organization was shaped like many of the other academies in the Soviet bloc, or speaking from organizational point of view, we became also a national research center. Many institutes were created in different fields with the idea to help the development of the Bulgarian industry. And I'm proud to say that our institutes, our scientists made the main steps and contributions for the development of such sectors in the industry like electronics, nuclear energy, chemical industry, biotechnologies, first Bulgarian computers, first Bulgarian calculators, first Bulgarian microcomputers were also done in the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. I cannot list everything that was done during this period, which continued several decades, but we are proud to be among those that developed the modern industry in Bulgaria. In the new time after 1989, we had also quite I would say, different from the point of view of the success periods, because because there were moments when were very tough for us, and our development was also accompanied with many difficulties. But anyway, at that moment, we can say that Bulgarian Academy of Sciences is the greatest, the biggest scientific center in Bulgaria, which also has a very important role of which the institutes from the humanitarian and social sciences are doing, of preserving national identity and the cultural heritage of our country. We are also a center which is an expert center, a source of extremely important expertise which we do for our government or for our institutions. I think that all these 150 years were full of activities of our members and of our scientists that are among the most important for the development of our country during this 109 years, 141 years, say, the country. And at that moment, we can say that the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences has played and will play a crucial role for our country, and our history is completely, as you can imagine, related to the history of our new state. With these words, I would like to once again to thank you that you came here to share our pride and to celebrate with us this important anniversary, and also to show that the international relations between scientists are something that is of help of the humanity, and we scientists usually first put bridges between nations, between cultures, and like this we help this world, which is a place where some very often very important movements are at that moment. We help our countries to establish also such good relations which are between us. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and I think that your presence here will show to our society our international engagement and our international success. Thank you very much. I will give now the floor to three persons that represent international organizations of academies to address a couple of words for congratulations, and then we will have about 1 hour maybe to discuss between us in an informal way, taking a coffee or something like this here, and then I will explain how this will continue. I will give the floor to Professor Graham Kay, who is Vice President of the ALEA, All European Academies.
Dear President of the Academy, dear members of the Academy, friends, distinguished guests, congratulations. This is a marvellous day, absolutely fantastic. And can I express my appreciation and thanks for being invited to speak in this very important, eminent audience. The rich history of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, the successor of the Bulgarian Learned Society, is indeed highly remarkable and worthy of our respect and admiration. On this very day, on the 12th of October 1869, the Bulgarian Learned Society was established, as your President had just said, in Brăila, Romania, with Professor Marin Drinov. He's a historian, and like myself, a philologist, and your first President who played a decisive role in the creation of the Academy, and, in my interest actually, the standardization of the Bulgarian language. And then with the move here in 1911, becoming the Bulgarian Academy, you quickly established yourselves as an authoritative scientific centre, demonstrating a true and long-standing commitment to science, scholarship, despite very difficult challenges, and showing the importance of the Academy's cultural influence and significance. The history of this Academy is testament to how evidence-based science as a common good transgresses natural borders to deliver knowledge not only at national and regional levels, but also globally. And this Academy has proven its excellence in providing policy for the development of science and research, for instance, by accounting for about half of the scientific output in Bulgaria, as well as through its active participation in the European research area. And I noted too that nearly 50 research units in this Academy. And these are but a few of the numerous achievements of your Academy, alongside the pursuit of Enlightenment values and democratic principles. The Academy's importance for advancements in scientific research and policy for Bulgaria, the Balkans, for Europe, and indeed globally, is therefore evident and highly admirable. And I was particularly encouraged to read about your Academy's actions, activities to encourage early career researchers, to train doctoral students. You have 240 PhD programs, and to establish a career development centre, as well as encouraging talent from schools, secondary schools. It's time like today, where scientists and researchers find themselves in more and more competitive environments, ensuring trust in science and expertise, that academies need to be audible voices of reason. It is fitting in this, your 150th anniversary, to honour the memory of the great scientists in this academy and to expand on their wisdom. If we take, for example, Leibniz's founding ideas for an academy, namely to establish a place where scientists from all scientific disciplines can come together to work in an interdisciplinary fashion, we must realise that it is precisely this interconnectedness that is today sorely needed. The key to solving many of our problems, no matter the size, lies in cooperation. Cooperating between disciplines, between countries, but most important, between people. The Bulgarian Academy has shown tremendous commitment to these values, so much so that you were fantastic hosts to our Alea General Assembly. You warmly welcomed us here in Sofia, where we shared insights during scientific symposium. The symposium, if you remember, was called Science in Times of Challenge, Trust and Expertise, as well as during the Science Policy Symposium, co-organised by the European Academy's project SAPEA, which was called Shaping European Science Advice, Insights and Experiences. Now, it is precisely these platforms for exchange on the European level that build trust and confidence in one another, and I would like to repeat Alea's sincere gratitude for hosting us here. We are genuinely appreciative of Bulgarian Academy's commitment to Alea over the years. The Academy was a founding member of Alea 25 years ago and has since taken part in many of our activities. First, Professor Eugene Nikolov was a much admired board member, and I'd like to mention my dear former colleague of the Alea board, Professor Nikolai Miloshov. I'm not sure if he's here today, but he was much appreciated in our academy. Finally, we at Alea look forward to maintaining our partnership with you and to continue to help you connect with all other European academies in their research. So, dear members of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, in the name of the Alea team and as its Vice President, congratulations once more for 150 years of successful academic research and for 150 years of commitment to the world of science. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kay, for your kind words, and we glad to hear that Alea appreciate our participation in this organization, which unifies all European academies, and we were glad also to contribute to these meetings that happened here, and also to contribute to the governance when Professor Milosev was member of the executive committee. Now let me give the floor to Professor Thierry Courvoisier, who represents European Academy Science Advisory Board, which is an organization, as you know, which unifies the national academies of the European Union, plus Switzerland and Norway, exactly.
Thank you, Thierry. Dear President of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, dear Professor Revalsky, dear Julie. Dear academicians and guests, dear colleagues and friends. To live and work in the world of science is a pleasure. It is the pleasure of observing nature, and human beings being an element of nature. Observing nature means observing stars and flowers, insects and sand, oceans, waves and particles, but also people, their art, cities and societies, and the applied psychology that we call economy. To be active in science is the pleasure of observing nature and of performing experiments, but also of discovering harmonies, of understanding the beauty of the world, and of exercising one's intellectual strengths. To take part in the scientific endeavor is also the pleasure of being within a human community that extends over all boundaries, be they national, political, social, economic, or religious. The presence today of your foreign guests from many parts of Europe and from many domains of science, from many parts of the world too, is a symbol of this community and its solidarity. But to be active in the world of science is also a responsibility. The responsibility of looking at the world honestly and without prejudices. The responsibility too to share the knowledge acquired through observations and experience with our fellows inhabiting the earth. Indeed, only shared knowledge bears fruits. Hidden knowledge is at best sterile. In the world in which we live, a world in which human action impacts so deeply on the parameters of the planet and its atmosphere, this responsibility extends to sharing insistently our knowledge with those in charge of societies to make sure that the knowledge available is used to inform and shape the decisions that will influence society and environment. The task of bringing knowledge to society and politics is largely that of science academies. It is an important one, albeit in the midst of many others. It is your task here in Bulgaria, but also in Europe, where you share this responsibility with your colleagues from all over the continent in the frame of EASAC, the European Academy's Science Advisory Council. Today's event is a wonderful opportunity to be reminded of the joy of science, the sense of community that we share, and the responsibilities that we have in society. Thank you for providing us with this opportunity. Please receive, on the occasion of the 150th anniversary of your Academy, the congratulations and very warm greetings of EASAC's Council and staff and of its member academies.
Congratulatory words, and really we as an academy try very seriously to take this task to bring opinions or expertise to our government or our institutions in order they to be able to take the right political decision. And we are happy to contribute also to what makes at the European level. I can tell you that in the last several years we have been engaged in several very important projects related to give opinions or solutions to important problems like in demography. Bulgaria now really has a very difficult problem in demography, so we have been involved in such a project in order to give measures how to cope with these problems. Also in everything related to this energy sector, particularly the electricity, with making a strategy in this field, or in education. We also must admit that we have problems in the education in the last year, so we contribute with our efforts. Scientists that develop projects or work with teachers and students in order to improve the quality. So we will continue to do this. Now it's my pleasure to give the floor to Professor Diareti, which is President of the International Science Council. Please, Professor.
Thank you very much, Professor Rowalski, President Rowalski, academicians, colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be here on behalf of the International Science Council, whose very good wishes and congratulations I convey to the Bulgarian Academy on this historic occasion of its 150th anniversary. The Bulgarian Academy has a long and inspiring history and continues to uphold the universal values of science as a premier intellectual center in Bulgaria, engaging in high-quality research, science education, and as a partner in various developments at the regional level and at the global level, I should add. The International Science Council comprises 140 members, national members, and around 40 scientific unions in various disciplines, covering the natural through to the social and the behavioral sciences. Its vision is of science as a global public good, and it works to promote science and to address challenges, global challenges, at regional and global levels. The International Science Council was formed from a merger last year, July 2018, between ICSU, the International Council for Science, and the International Social Science Council. ICSU itself had been established in 1931, and I think it's worth pointing out that the Bulgarian Academy was one of the founder members of ICSU. And we're very proud to count the Bulgarian Academy as one of the founder members of the International Science Council. Colleagues, the world of today is one that presents major challenges, some of them existential in nature, such as that pertaining to climate change, challenges that are set out in the Sustainable Development Goals. The world of today is one also in which we have witnessed, and we are busy witnessing and participating in dramatic changes and developments. For example, in the digital revolution and everything that goes and comes along with it. There are other very dramatic challenges, or I should say opportunities, developments, such as that in the domain of gene or germline editing. And taking that as a particular example, along with these opportunities come major ethical challenges. So we, as a community of scientists, have a major role to play in advising policymakers from the scientific point of view with regard to these various developments and their role, for example, in promoting sustainable development, addressing the threat of climate change, and also dealing with the regulatory and the ethical issues around gene editing. At the same time, we must be aware that there are other challenges to science. challenges that come from skepticism in science, and in fact the promotion of anti-scientific or pseudo-scientific views. We have, as a global scientific community, have a major and extremely important role to play in promoting the value of science, the values of science, and engaging with the public at large so that our fellow members of the world community, whether or not they are scientists, are aware of what science is about, what its values are, what it is able to bring towards a better understanding of the world we live in. The Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, with its considerable strengths and breadth of expertise, is well placed to play a major role in addressing these issues, on its own, regionally, and globally as well. And I look forward to the Bulgarian Academy engaging in partnerships with the International Science Council, but more particularly through partnerships with the other members of the International Science Council in promoting a range of activities engaging in the kinds of issues that I've been talking about. So I have every confidence that the Academy will rise to this challenge and extend its illustrious history of outstanding science and committed service. Once again, I extend my warmest congratulations on this very significant anniversary. Thank you.
We, as a member of the International Science Council, we are also committed to contribute to these global issues that can be addressed also from a scientific point of view. And although we are a small country with not a very big center, anyway, if we can contribute to these extremely important global issues, we will be happy. We had, as I told you, decided to give the floor to representatives of the bigger organizations. But what I would like to say that I'm thankful for not only for your coming, but also for your congratulatory addresses, that some of them came through internet, and some of them you have seen on the screen, and they are of course on the website. What I would like to tell you that all the congratulatory addresses, no matter whether they are written or internet based, they will be put on the website of our academy, this special rubric which is dedicated to the 150th anniversary of the academy.